Hey everyone, it's Brett from Hope to Prosper, and I'm here at Cuyahoga Valley National Park and getting ready to go on a hike and enjoy the park. This is my 28th or 29th national park, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. Okay, thanks for coming along. I appreciate it. It's going to be a big day. We're going to go to Cuyahoga, and then we're going to go down to Canton for the Football Hall of Fame. All right, thanks a bunch. This is the Boston Mill Visitor Center. It's in the kind of in the center of the park. I think there's a couple visitor centers, but this is the one that my GPS led me to, so I went there first. I didn't go in the visitor center right away because it was still pretty early, and I was interested in getting out on the trail and hiking. But it's kind of a neat visitor center. It's got a railroad depot there. There's a little train you could ride around. There's the Cuyahoga River right there. And then a number of other little things in the area. There's the city of Boston, which is kind of like an older city that had its heyday back when the all the canals were open in the 1800s. So I got here first, and then I decided to hike out. So I headed out on the trail, and I headed out over the Cuyahoga River on the footbridge, and headed into the little town of Boston, and it's pretty scenic. Everything, and it was almost like a spring day there, even though it was fall. It was just really beautiful. Weather was perfect. All the trees are flowering, and the river was beautiful. So it was very scenic. It was a very scenic place to hike. One of the things that's a bummer, you can see right there in the background, the freeway overpass. There are two freeway overpasses that go over the Cuyahoga Valley, and so there's a lot of road noise. Besides that, it's just gorgeous. So this is the Buckeye Trail. I went up into the little hills and got lost on the Buckeye Trail for about, I don't know, it's not that long of a trail, probably like about 15-20 minutes, but it was pretty. I was thinking, man, I could run into some deer or something here, squirrels, but I didn't see any wildlife on the Buckeye Trail. But I'm still glad that I took it. It was different than walking up and down the other trails that were more wide open. And it was just, like I said, I was just enjoying being lost in the woods. And so this was a good little trail. Both the Valley Trail and the Buckeye Trail are really neat in that they get into the forest and take you off the beaten path. Because a lot of the trails in Cuyahoga are almost like roads. So the Buckeye Trail was a nice little nature trail. So this is the Towpath Trail, and what it is, you can see on the left is the canal, and then on the right is the Towpath Trail, and that is where the mules would pull the barges up and down the canal. And so this canal, it was dug from Cleveland all the way up to Akron. And this is how they got goods into the interior of Ohio from the Great Lakes at Cleveland. And during the 1800s, these canals were basically the lifeblood of all these cities. And so it was really pretty to see the canal next to the towpath. I saw a lot of bikers, a lot of joggers. It seemed like a really popular trail for everybody to go up and down. And this is the south, headed towards the city of Peninsula, or the older city of Peninsula. And now I'm heading north, and I'm heading up towards Brandywine Falls. And in this place, you can't see the canal, but it's off right there to the right. And so beautiful hiking. I loved Cuyahoga Valley. And this is really accessible, this towpath trail. You could probably take a wheelchair or whatever. It's very accessible. Here's Lock 32. So there are 44 locks between Cleveland and Akron to, I think it's like 680 feet of elevation. But anyways, they had these locks. They would tow the canal boats in there. The canal boats are basically 75 feet long max and 15 feet wide max to fit into all of these locks. And this is how they got all of the goods and the boats uphill. It was with these locks. And this is Lock 32. It's right by the little city of Boston. here's the city of Boston. It's it was like a boom town. It's really close to Lock 32 right there, and it was a boom town during the 1800s when the canals were in their glory days, and they had a big hotel and all kinds of stores and everything. This is a Stanford house. I'm sorry I don't know the background of the significance of it, but I know it's popular, or it's a big stop. And then this is the Stanford Trail. What I did was, from the towpath in the Stanford house, I took the Stanford Trail all the way over to Brandywine Falls. It was about 2 miles each way, probably a 4-miler round trip. And once again, I'm out in the woods and off of the big trails, and it was pretty. It was fun. It was a little bit of climb, as you could see. I had to work to get up there, but it was an easy hike coming back. I can tell you that much. But it was definitely worth going over to Brandywine Falls. I didn't realize till later I could have just driven over there, but I'm glad I hiked instead. So this is the Brandywine Gorge. This is the top of the falls right here. There was a city called Brandywine, or a village. Let's call it a village. And up here there was first a grist mill and then an electrical generator. So they use that water for that. So here's the picture of the mill. And then here's the little gorge trail that you can take over. It's kind of like a elevated walkway to see the falls. And so it's a little longer than you think, but once again, there's some stairs, but besides that, it's fairly accessible. And you can go and see the falls from down below, which has a much better view than from up at the top. So the Brandywine Falls, I don't know, I guess you would call it like a skyway. But it was worth it. There's the falls in the background. And here's what the falls look like. So, I'm glad I hiked out to that. It was definitely worth seeing. And if you didn't want to hike like that, you could just drive over and see them from the trail. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the beautiful Cuyahoga Valley National Park. I really enjoyed it myself. I loved it.